Why'd he get in big trouble?
No, I didn't do anything. My wife yelled at her.
What did she do?
The
Yeah,
dog pooped in the house, so we yelled
yeah.
at it.
What did she say?
So shoved its face in the poop and told it not to do that anymore.
That's not nice. Really? Did the poo make contact with the dog?
I don't know. You just get it close and tell it no and yell at it and then make it go outside for a while.
Oh, that's so sad. Look at these goofy white dudes. All right. Oh, we're live.
Are we?
Yeah.
You started it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. All right. Beyond your games, guys, this is the second to last one of the year.
Oh, we're gonna do more. There'll be some sort of draft thing. You're already cooking it up in your head. I heard you.
Yeah, but that's next season's.
Oh, Michael Wilbon.
No, next season doesn't start till the start of the season.
Michael Wilbon said this is the greatest first weekend the NCAA tournament has ever produced.
What does Michael Wilbon know?
What's that?
I said, what does Michael Wilbon know about college basketball?
I don't know. He's only been covering it for 50 years. So.
That Wisconsin guy turned around and celebrated before it went in.
Steph Curry did.
Pretty much. I mean, it's not as bad as I just watched it again. It's not as bad as I thought, but
And I mean, but yeah,
he was pretty confident about that shot.
yeah, he definitely had a few, felt good when it left his hand because yeah, he looked confident.
He did not look surprised when it went in. That's for sure.
All
right.
What a nice win that was, though.
Yeah, congratulations, Dan.
Hey, thanks, man.
BYU made it to the NIT semifinals. I got an email about it. Yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah. Now you just gotta be careful. None of your players make sweet love to any of the ladies.
Unless they're married, which most of them are actually, I think, married, so they'll be okay.
That's disturbing. There should be a law. You can't get married until you're 20. I would say 28, but
I got 4 years.
You would also make a law that they have to be under, like, the man has to be over 28 and the girl has to be under 19, right?
I'd make a law that you can only be married for 8 years at a time.
They do that in France, right? Their marriages run out. Yeah.
Really?
I think it's 7 years and then you have to renew.
Yeah, like I know fucking idea. That is a fantastic.
That way they don't have to process any divorces.
Huh.
You just kind of let it.
So wait, what if it goes bad in like year 2? You just
I get yeah. Theoretically, you could still have a divorce, but.
Oh, I thought maybe you just had to ride it out for 5 years.
No, I mean, I think you could still file a divorce, but it certainly cuts them down, right? Like, you don't have to renew.
But then,
probably what most people would do is just be like, whatever, like we'll wait the 5 years, but like not live together, not really be married. But.
Yeah, but then you're right. I would make it so the men have to be have to find someone at least 5 years younger than them.
Yeah.
Wait, why is that a requirement? That hasn't worked for you yet, Dan.
Dan's a pedophile, so.
No, men are so stupid and immature. So it takes us much longer time to grow up, and then and plus like women, the Caucasian women, don't age well, so it's got to add 8 years.
So is a Caucasian marriage would have to be 13 years?
Well, no, I mean like you just keep it at 5, but because like every, well, since we're live, this is gonna be posted on YouTube, so I'm gonna stop it here.
You need to turn it to private.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to figure that out.
It's just one button. Do you think you're ever gonna get married, Dan?
Yeah, I think so. I would guess when I'm 42.
You get married to a nice 18-year-old girl.
No, she'd probably be maybe.
She's gonna be 42 as well. Don't let him lie to you.
I'm hoping she's still in her 29.
15, 16
I'm 42,
years old.
she's 29. Or maybe when I'm 39 and she's 29. That would be fine.
That's actually not. So that fits within the 1/2 plus 7 rule, right? I think that's the actual rule I've ever heard. They have to be at least half your age plus 7 years old, or plus 7 more years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, I mean, I don't use that rule, but yeah, I think that would fit in that rule.
I couldn't date an 18-year-old anymore then, Mark. That doesn't seem right.
That does seem right. How old are you?
24?
Yeah, that doesn't seem. You shouldn't be able to date an 18-year-old.
It's got to be 19 or up now? That doesn't
Yeah.
seem right.
You can't date somebody who yesterday was 17.
Well, yeah, but like, what if they're like 18 and a half?
No. You're in a different. You're not a 21, 22-year-old anymore.
I'm an old man now? Thanks for that.
You just can't. You shouldn't date 18-year-old girls.
24 is a tough age for a guy because it's yeah, I mean like prime is like 28 to like 32. Then you can go anywhere. You can go 20 date 21, 22-year-olds. You can also date 30-year-olds. You're the full gauntlet.
Sure. All right, let's do this thing.
All right.
You want me to leave a little pause?
Tyler's a pro at posting, so whatever Tyler wants.
No, you got to post this one. You got to learn how. I told you.
Dude, I know how to post. And we only have one more.
Well, yeah, you got to learn. What are you going to do next year if I'm like dead or something?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
You can't joke like that if you're not going to tell us.
Now you're definitely going to post because we need to save your life. Make sure you're alive.
How's posting going to save my life? I don't understand.
Because
I
you have to stay live now.
I can't do it tonight, but next time I would like to post it so I know what I'm doing. Could you send me like an instructions though? It doesn't have to be as detailed.
Mark, it's
as the one
real
I sent
easy.
tonight.
All you do is hit the upload button on the.
Just send me some instructions.
All right, I'll copy and paste your instructions until it changes.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right.
Thanks, man. All right, I'm gonna leave a little pause for like 5 seconds and I'll start.
All right.
Hello and welcome to a playoff edition of the Daily Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Roberts, and in today's show, we'll be discussing the news of the day and also giving you some advice on pickups to help win your playoff matchup. Joining me today is Daniel Green. Hey, Daniel, how's it going?
Good, man. What's going on? Just watched Wisconsin beat Xavier on a last-second shot, so I'm feeling good. It's gonna be a good show.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
To you and Tyler Watts. Tyler, how's it going, my man?
It's going well. How are you, Mark?
Oh, not too bad. I just sweated out four playoff victories in 4 of my leagues, so I'm pretty excited about that. Looking forward to a championship week. Hopefully, most of our listeners are as well. How have the playoffs gone for you guys?
Overall, really good for me. In my most important league, I'm in the finals, which starts tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank
1
you.
week or 2 weeks?
What's that?
1 week or 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks. And what's that?
I said that's kind of a grueling.
It's
2 weeks.
grueling because you only have 4 moves to make it. So it's like especially with all the people resting, and just sitting out for no reason. It's a really tough time of year to play fantasy. You have weird things happening. So
because you got to save some moves. And
yeah, it's like you got to be strategic and make sure the 4 moves that you have that they really count. But yeah, so it's fun. I will say in our second chance league that we had with me, you, and Tyler were in, and the whole Roberts family.
Yeah.
My days are numbered, man, because I had Anthony Davis leading me to domination in that league, and now that he's out for the year.
That's not looking so good. We'll get to that in just a second. Tyler, how are your teams doing, my man?
Still got 2 going in the playoffs. Lost 2 this week and last week, so not too bad, I guess.
You're in any championships this week?
Yeah, I got 2 championships coming this week, so.
Oh, well, we'll be excited to hear about them on next Wednesday's show, or next Sunday's show, excuse me. Which does bring me, we have one little piece of housekeeping to discuss, and then we can get right into the news, which Dan already mentioned. This will be our second to last podcast, regular scheduled podcast of the year. We're going to help you set your lineups this week for those of you that have playoff matchups. That'll be a championship for a lot of leagues, and then some leagues I know that's a semifinal. And then for all those that have a championship week, the following, which will be next Monday, we're going to do one more podcast that week. So 1 podcast this week, 1 podcast next week, and that will wrap up our regular season. We may do a couple of ad hoc podcasts throughout the off season, if we feel like it, I guess. But for now, plan on those two, and then we'll be back next year. So, any follow-up thoughts on that, guys?
Dude, it's sad, man. It went by so fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how it goes by fast. But no, it's been a good ride, and thanks to all the listeners for sticking with us, and we'll be back bigger and stronger next year.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get into the news of the day. Anthony Davis, you already mentioned him. It's kind of a weird report. Like at first when I read this, it sounded like they were kind of just shutting him down because he was. I mean, they don't really have a chance to win, and probably they were tanking. And then the more you dug into it, it turns out he's out. He's going to have multiple surgeries to repair his left knee and his shoulder, and so I don't know. I don't really have a take on how serious this is. The one thing we do know is he's not playing any more games this season, which I think leaves him at 62 for the season. Do you guys have any sorts of thoughts on how serious this actually is with Anthony Davis?
I mean, I don't think it's that. Quite honestly, I don't think it's that serious. I mean, he's been playing with the labrum in the torn labrum in his left shoulder for a while, and I think I think the thing with his knee is just going to be like a scope. I don't think it's anything serious that you have to worry about going into next year. I think they were just basically. I mean, like look, his reputation has taken a hit this year, and just in past years as well as being soft, starting to be a little injury prone. So I think that the Pelicans PR wanted to get out there and make it seem like he was genuinely had some injuries and he's not just kind of being soft and
those labrum injuries. I mean, think about how long Alec Burks has been out. I think he's the last guy I can remember that had a labrum injury in his shoulder that required surgery, and he is still out. He's been out the majority of this season, and he sat out a lot of last season as well. So that definitely worries me. But I think you're probably onto something. Hopefully, he's ready for the start of next season.
Yeah, I mean, I would think he would be. I really do think this is kind of their PR, trying to be like, hey, Commissioner Adam Silver, like, look, we're not tanking. He's really hurt.
It'll be interesting to see. Sorry, he's played 61 games, I think. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in drafts next season, because obviously on a per game basis, he's as good or as basically anybody in the league. I mean, Steph Curry's. He's in the same class with Curry and Harden and that group.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Westbrook. They're all there, but like he's yet to play 70 games in a single season in his career.
Yeah, I would. I don't think I could draft him in the first round. I just wouldn't.
Wow.
Your first round pick, man. That guy's got to play 70 plus games, and you can't.
That's a pretty bold statement. So let's say you got like the 11th pick, and he fell to you. You really wouldn't pick him?
I mean, I might, but like it would not be a no-brainer for me.
Right. And I think that means you're definitely not taking him at like 5.
No, I'm not taking him top 6 or top 7 probably.
Right.
Like if I had 10, 11, 12 maybe, but even then, man, like you just don't, you can't have your first round pick like be playing 50, 60 games for you. It's just not going to cut it. So. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where he does go.
What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, obviously, like he's always a scary pick, but I think like if you get one of those like 11, 12 pick, and you're gonna get another pick coming up like right away, I mean, I think you maybe go for him just because that way you can get someone a little safer coming back around, and then.
Okay, so what if you were at 5 or something, and Durant, Harden, Curry, and who am I missing? Westbrook.
I'm not taking Davis yet. I mean,
really?
I'm going Cousins over him, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I mean, my experience, everybody.
I'm going Giannis over him next year. Telling you.
Karl Towns, your favorite player in the world, Mark. You're probably picking him over him.
That would be I mean, It'll be interesting to see how our projections come out. My guess is this is the low point in Davis's value, and I think by the beginning of next season, everyone will talk themselves into him. I'll bet he'll be a consensus top 5 pick.
And I mean, the thing with Anthony Davis now is he going to make an All NBA team? So I think he basically.
Yeah, he has a $24 million incentive to make
Yep.
the team.
Yeah, and now, quite honestly, I don't think he should make it. Given the fact.
Make it now, I'm surprised that they shut him down with that incentive out there.
Well, I mean,
that's what makes me wonder if it's a more serious injury.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like at the end of the day, he's. I mean, like what was the contract going to be? It was like 100 and he can make 130 million versus 150 million. I mean, like come on. Even though it's even though 21 million is a lot, he's still like he'll be fine. He's not going to be he's not going to be homeless.
No, so, but there's 10 games left, 15 games left.
Yeah.
So play 15 games, and like if he would have played well in all 15 of those games, he probably makes the third team. So he's given up $24 million to sit out 15 games.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. It would have been a cool if you could have been like a fly on the wall with when they had the phone call with his agent and he him in the room and then the trainers and the coach and the GM to see what really went down. But yeah, maybe you're right that maybe he is more banged up than we think. But who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about it more as the season comes up. I just think of some other players that I took risks on this year, like Kyrie Irving and Yusuf Nurkic, and they weren't 100% back, but their coaches expected them to be back pretty soon, and they took a long time to get back. And I'm gonna make sure and keep that in my memory when we roll around to next season, because if Davis isn't playing in the Olympics or playing in preseason games, that's what's gonna worry me. All right, well, let's look at the New Orleans played a game on Sunday night without Davis, and here's how the minutes kind of broke down. Dante Cunningham played 40 minutes. Omar Ashik played 30 minutes. Luke Babbitt played 29 minutes. Alex Ajinça, who I thought would probably be the main beneficiary of Davis sitting out, he only played 2 minutes. So is there any of those guys that interest you guys as far as a pickup or a stream option? Dan, I'll start with you.
Well, also I think the one thing we didn't mention is frickin' Ryan Anderson sat out with a groin injury, which came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Because I have him on in one of my leagues, and I was he's the main whenever AD's out, he's the main beneficiary. Last game
he takes a lot of the extra shots, right?
Yeah, I mean it's shots galore for him. They basically he's their first and second option. They run so many.
I'm guessing he's owned, and that's the reason I didn't necessarily bring him up.
Yeah, but I was just saying. So the fact that when he's out, I don't know when he's going to be back. It doesn't seem like it's a serious injury, but they if they want to tank, they might just rest him for no reason this week. So look, if Dante Cunningham, even though I'm not a fan of his game, if he's going to play 40 minutes like he did today, that's a guy that I'd probably pick up. Or
19 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals.
Yeah, or at least a guy that I would at least look to stream. The other guy who really caught my eye today, as I watch a little of this game, I mean, Omar Asik had the best game he's had in 3 years.
He really did.
It came out of nowhere. I mean, he had 15 points, 14 rebounds. He was capable of doing this. I think was he in Houston before? He was on the Pelicans.
Houston and Chicago.
Yeah. So when he gets minutes, man, he can give you really some nice defensive stats. So he's a guy that
he can't score. He can't shoot free throws.
No, but he can rebound and block.
Even this season, he's averaging 14 rebounds per 36 minutes.
Yeah.
His blocks numbers have never been he's a very good interior defender, but his blocks are never as high as you think they should be.
Well, yeah, because he's he basically can jump as high as Pekovic, right?
Right.
I mean, he can't get off the ground, so that's why his blocks aren't great. But he can be a rebounding monster for you, though.
If you're looking for a monster, and if he gets a bunch of minutes, he can get. I mean, I think he could get you. If he's playing 30 minutes, he could get you 8 points, 11 rebounds, and a block per game.
Yep, agree. I mean, I'm with you. I did think that Ajinça is going to be the one to get minutes, but he's another guy that we always talk about these guys who for some reason never get minutes. Even when there's all kinds of injuries. So right now, unless I see Ajenka play a game where he gets solid run and puts up some nice production, I'm going to stay away from him. But yeah, he has the potential. We've seen it in the past.
Tyler, any thoughts on the New Orleans situation?
I think you guys nailed it right on the head. Just if you're in a head-to-head league and you try to win free throws, just be careful with the Sheik. He can drag you down pretty quick.
And I guess I don't know, as far as these guards, it looks like Tony Douglas is going to be the main beneficiary as long as Norris Cole is out. He played 37 minutes, had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, and a steal. Threw in a three-pointer as well.
Yeah, but I mean, but Frazier played great too.
Frazier played great in only 20 minutes, which is what has me a little bit cautious with him. He had 17.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and a three-pointer. I'm not sure what to do with any of these guys. Is it a wait-and-see situation, or is there anybody you would pick up based off of this game? Like, would you pick up Douglas, who's only owned in 12% of Yahoo leagues, or Frazier, who's owned in 6%, or Cunningham, who's owned in 1%, or a Sheik, who's owned in 3%?
I mean, I think Frazier has more upside, but for whatever reason, Gentry, even though Gentry said he's going to start Frazier, he went back to starting Tony Douglas. As long as, because Elvin Gentry's a moron. As long as Tony Douglas is starting, that's the guy that I want in my lineups. I mean, he can, he's got a really safe floor. So and he does have some upside.
And I think Ashik is a strictly a category, like, you pick him up if you need rebounds and potentially blocks.
Yeah.
And there's probably, if in that case, there's probably not a better pickup on the waiver wire. Right? Like, he may not be a top 100 player, but if you need rebounds, there's probably nobody else better out there than him.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Next guy we want to talk about, Dan, I think you got some news and notes prepared for us here. Do you want to take us through those?
Sure. So, your boy is taking us back months ago, man. Salah Mejri,
I think, yeah.
Mejri. I mean, ever since Zaza was an all-star, it's just been the decline of Zaza Pachulia. So Salah started the second half of Sunday's game that Dallas had against the Blazers. Dude, and he was a monster. He had 13 points, 14 boards, 6 blocks, 1 assist, and 1 steal in 33 minutes.
Incredible, yeah.
I mean, that is...
Zaza played 5 minutes. He started and played 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just clearly they're going a different direction. If you look at some of the predictions out there, Dallas right now they're battling for that 8 spot, and the odds actually favor Utah overtaking Dallas. So
I think this was a big game for them because I don't think they were expected to beat Portland.
I think you're right, actually, on that.
I think that's it. I mean, with Parsons out, with Zaza not playing.
Yeah, so that's what I was just going to say. So, like, Parsons is day-to-day with a knee injury, which is not good coming off, his injuries from last year. So, I'm not really sure what Dallas is going to do with their line. I mean, Darren Williams had like 30 points and 25 assists or something like that, something insane. Not that high, obviously, but it was.
Yeah, but he had 31 points, 16 assists, 3 steals, and 4 3-pointers.
Just ridiculous. And of course,
Dirk had 40 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 3-pointers.
Yeah. Now, was it a double overtime or just an overtime game?
It was just strictly an overtime game.
So I mean, the stats are a little inflated, but still, I mean, look, clearly Zaza's out. David Lee is a nice player for a point per minute basis, but he's not going to play. He's just not going to give you big minutes because he can't play defense. So Salah, he's an intriguing guy, man.
Well, Lee had been playing big minutes. That was sort of surprising.
Well, yeah,
but not huge minutes, but he dropped down to 15 on Sunday, which was a surprise.
Yeah, but he'll never hit 30. Like he'll never get past mid-20s.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So I'm not going to say go pick, pause the podcast and go pick up Salah, but
in fact, I would caution against. Even if you've listened to the podcast all the way through and then you're ready to go pick somebody up, I don't know how you count on this. Like, Rick Carlisle giving Salah Mejri 33 minutes is totally unexpected, and I don't think it's sustainable. Like, I don't think that means Zaza's going to go back to being big minute guy either, but, next game Mejri I would not be shocked if he plays. Like, what would you set the over-under at? If I set the over-under at 12 minutes next game, would you go over or under?
I'd put it at. Well, I'm trying to see who they play. Because, Carlisle's notorious for playing based on matchups.
Yeah.
So they play Portland again next.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
So they don't play till Wednesday either. Jeez. I'm all over it. If it's Portland again, I put the over under at like 20 minutes.
Really, I would take the under. I would not count on this guy. He may come through, and I think you make a valid point that like maybe because they're playing Portland that Mejri will get a bunch of minutes, but I'm not willing to like if I'm in a limited moves league where like the league you were talking about where you only have 4 pickups.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to blow one of those to hope that Mejri plays a lot of minutes.
Well, this is the problem too. They play Golden State on Friday, so you can basically put Salah for a big chicken nugget 0. You can put him for a Shelvin Mack 0 minutes on Friday.
Yeah.
So and Wednesday, you really probably don't need to stream anyone because Wednesday there's always a ton of games. So
that's true.
He might not be a great pickup until the weekend, if that.
I think you're staying away. I think this is fool's gold. I think it was a one-time thing.
I will say that Chandler Parsons does have a hamstring injury, and from everything I've read, he's probably not playing in the next game. He ranks 192nd in our weekly rankings this week, and he's owned in 90% of leagues. I'm thinking you're probably not playing him this week. They only have 3 games. So.
Yeah, in a weekly league, you probably would. Because he's at most at 2 games, maybe not even.
Yeah, I mean the guy for Dallas who's going to be I think a nice play, and they only have 3 games this week, and when it's Wednesday and Friday are 2 of them, so they might none of their guys might be streaming options, but Raymond Felton's a guy who I think is going to have a nice week. He's basically starting if they play small, and they're definitely going to play small on Friday against Golden State, and he started against Portland, who they play on Wednesday too.
Beret has actually been a very consistent player over the last few weeks. He's been getting consistent minutes. I think Sunday was his lowest output in assists, but he's been a sneaky. Like I almost streamed him in a couple of places for assists over the last 2 weeks. He's averaged 4 assists per game, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to get that pretty consistently off the waiver wire, I think he's been between 3 and 5 assists in most cases. Let's see. Over the last 10 games, he's only had 2 games where he's been below 4 assists. So I would think about picking him up if you need assists. I think he's a pretty interesting stream option. And there's nothing we can do about it as far as picking him up or anything, but Dirk Nowitzki has had a heck of a week this past week. He was basically a first-round value. He averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 3-pointers in 4 games.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Good on him.
All right, so should we get off of Dallas?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the Knickerbockers. Carmelo had a migraine, whatever that means. I don't know if that was an actual migraine or just he's sick of what's going on in the
I
New
think
York
he's
media.
sick of Kirk Rambis trying to coach him.
I mean, man, that has just been painful what Rambis is doing to these guys. But
He
Carmelo,
sucked all the enthusiasm out of that team, I feel like.
he just killed it.
Yeah.
And
he's been playing Carmelo a ton of minutes, which seems surprising considering his injury history.
he's been playing Carmelo a ton of minutes. He's been playing Calderon a ton of minutes. Basically, everyone old and banged up and hurt, he's been playing. Anyone young and that could help their future, he's not been playing.
Yeah.
And they've been losing.
And like Calderon and Carmelo are very different stories, right? Like if Calderon gets overworked and his knee blows out, that would stink. That would be a setback for the Knicks, and would certainly be disappointing for Calderon. But
I wouldn't be a setback at all. It'd be an asset. It'd be a benefit.
If Carmelo goes out, if Carmelo blows out his knee because he's playing 40 minutes a night, that's a disaster for the Knicks.
Maybe that's what Phil Jackson wants to happen. They don't want Carmelo.
No, I think they want to trade him, but they're going to have his contract for 3 more seasons if he blows out his knee at this point. They're just stuck with him, so I don't know what they're doing.
I wouldn't be shocked if they shut Carmelo down.
No, to save him from Rambis, right?
Yes, and save him from Rambis. Save him because there's no reason for him to play anymore.
Last month he's averaged 38 minutes per game.
And I think Rambis was doing that because in his cockamamie mind he thought he was actually he had a shot to be the Knicks coach if they won some games next year.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the case, and there's really zero incentive to play Carmelo, especially playing big minutes down the stretch here. So if I'm a Carmelo owner, I'm very nervous this week.
Yeah, and they have how many games do they have this week? New York Knicks. Oh, this is thrilling. They only have 3 games this week. They don't play till Wednesday, but they play back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday, and then they play a Saturday game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get to the schedule later, but the Tuesday, Thursday games are the ones that you want to target. There's not a ton of games.
I would not be surprised if he plays 2 or less games this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Which would be disappointing if you own him.
So if you only have 2, if you're going to get 2 games of Carmelo, do you start him?
If it's a weekly league, I don't think I would start him if I could at all help it. Like if it's a deep league and you really have no other options. But man, if I have anything on the waiver wire that I can pick up and I can get 4 games from I don't know, I don't want to spoil any of our pickups for later, but shoot, I don't know, if you could get like 4 games of somebody like Omar Caspi or something, I would do that over 2 games of Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, I'm with you. So normally without Carmelo, I thought Aaron Afalo might have a good game tonight. His usage rate jumps to about 22 without Carmelo, but he sucked tonight. 30 minutes, 6 points, only took 8 shots, which was the most surprising thing, as that usage rate clearly did not work out. It was cool to see Porzingis tonight actually play 35 minutes. Didn't shoot well, but he still had a nice line with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. That may be the most minutes he's played under Rambis, so maybe that's a good sign for Porzingis owners. Robin Lopez, Mark.
He went crazy.
Dude, 23 points and 20 rebounds.
20 shots?
Yeah, and a steal and 2 blocks. That was for 20 blocks. That out of the 23 points, 20 boards, and 20 shots, I think the 20 shots may be the most surprising thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That may be a career high.
I mean, what does that tell you about DeMarcus Cousins' defense? Because the Knicks played the Kings tonight.
Not great things.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, the Knicks are a team that I really want to stay away from this week. I don't want any of these guys. So.
Agreed. All right. What else we got?
Moving on. Pau Gasol, Mark, missed the last 4 games. Doubtful for Monday's game against Sacramento. And the Bulls have back-to-backs on Wednesday and Thursday, both against the Knicks. I guess they're saying he could return then. Again, a risky move. What do you want to do with Pau this week?
So they have a little bit more of an interesting schedule. They play 4 games between Monday and Saturday. It's hard to imagine Pau playing in more than 2 of those as well. So I would definitely not put him in my weekly league. If you can put him on an injured reserve spot and then stream him in later when he plays, I think, based on how the Bulls have reintegrated injured players, I would actually be okay putting him in as soon as he returns. But if you need that roster spot or you're in a weekly league, I think you're fine to go ahead and drop him.
And I think
like if you found out he was playing tomorrow night, which on Monday night, which I think is very doubtful, but say he was.
He's not playing tomorrow.
But okay, so say you found out on Wednesday he's on your injured reserve. You found out on Wednesday he's playing against the Knicks. Would you feel comfortable putting him in your lineup?
Yeah.
I think I would be too.
Well, especially because they play Thursday. This week there's only, I think, 5 games on Thursday. That's right. So if you can get a guy, especially a Pau's talent, and let's say they even put him on a minutes restriction of 24 to 26 minutes, he's still going to put a really nice production for you, and that Thursday is key. So yeah, I would I'd plug him in my lineups.
Thoughts on Pau?
I think you guys nailed it. I mean, I don't think he's going to play this week at all, to be honest with you.
That's probably
you heard it from Tyler Watts. I actually think he'll come back because the Bulls need to win. The Bulls are battling for that 8th spot. It's getting tight in the East and the West, quite honestly. But so I do think he'll come back probably Wednesday or Thursday. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Right now they're tied for the 8th spot with Detroit, and they're 1.5 games ahead of Washington. Mark, I think we already said Chandler Parsons, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
so the Nuggets, my favorite player, are being cautious with Kenneth Faried's back. What the hell does that mean? If I'm a betting man, which I kind of am, I would say Faried's probably not going to play all the games for the Nuggets this week, which sucks.
And if you're listening at home and you were waiting for Dan to talk about Kenneth Faried, you can drink.
Yeah, but that's not really true because I didn't like the. It's only been in the last month where I've got this Kenneth Faried obsession.
That's true.
So, but yeah, so it's tough. Mike Malone's rotations are very bizarre. I mean, so Nurkic maybe benefit the most with Faried out,
I think
but
that's probably true.
I think it may vary from game to game.
Gerald Arthur continues to get a lot of minutes, so I think it could be him.
Yeah, I don't mind streaming him as long as.
Frankly, he's been great. I don't know that I expect it to continue, but in their, let's see, is that the most recent game I'm looking at? I just want to make sure. Yeah, their most recent game, he had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. I don't know how many people have had 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in a game this season, but that hasn't been many. Played 35 minutes, so I'm not ready to recommend him yet, but because, like you said, the lineup is not necessarily set in stone, but I probably would pick him up before I picked up Nurkic, as long as the minutes continue to go the way they're going.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'd do the same thing. I mean, like, his floor is just much safer.
Yeah.
Whereas Nurkic's going to,
Now, if they were even at all close in minutes, I don't think there's any question I would go Nurkic. But if Arthur's going to get 20 more minutes per game than Nurkic, it's just there's no way that you would want to go with Nurkic there.
Yep. Agreed. Next up, we have. So just to give the listeners some insight, I prepare a nice little show sheet, and I send to Mark and Tyler before the show with all my notes of the day. And the boys like to mock me a little bit, so after the Kenneth Faried note, there's a pic now. I don't know who typed this. Was it Tyler or Mark? I'm guessing it'd be Tyler.
Yeah, that was definitely Tyler.
Who inserted a picture of a really hot girl looks to be, what do you say, a little skinny? Is that what you were doing, Tyler?
I think she's been a little underfed there.
Yeah, and then underneath it says Dan's Dream Girl. And then it looks like Mark typed, "Who is this?" So Tyler, reveal to the audience what you have done to us here.
No, that was all Mark. That was not me. I'm not taking credit for this.
That's not. What are you talking about? Did you put this in, Dan? I would have no idea how to even insert a picture into this.
And I would? No. I mean, clearly that was Tyler.
It has to have been Tyler.
Was that one of the Kardashians? Is that Kylie Jenner?
No, it is not at all Kylie Jenner.
I have no idea.
All right, let's move on.
She's cute.
Nothing could be less interesting than people trying to guess what we're describing on.
What Tyler's gonna do, for all you guys, Tyler will tweet out a picture of that girl, and then so you guys can all look at that too.
There you go.
Moving on to Orlando, Mark, Alfred Payton and Vucevic. Man, if you owned them last week, you're probably
yeah, you're probably getting ready for next season.
Yeah, or you punched something, or you got lucky, and who knows. But they're both questionable heading into this week.
Payton did play on Sunday. He only played 16 minutes, and he had 4 assists, a steal, a block, and 2 points. But he did play, so that's good news for him. Vucevic did not play.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Skiles. Just prepare this week for Scott Skiles to kill you somehow if you own any of the Orlando guys.
Can you believe what he's doing to Aaron Gordon?
I mean, man, I have Aaron Gordon in like every league, and it's just so upsetting. Aaron Gordon got 18 minutes tonight. It's just he's such an a-hole, Scott Skiles.
Jennings is playing a lot of minutes. Fournier is playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, Jennings.
Kedman is starting.
I've actually picked up Jennings in 2 leagues, and now this is the problem with Peyton back, Mark. Even though Peyton played,
What are you doing to yourself though? Like what?
What do you mean?
I want no part of any Orlando Magic player from here on out.
Well, I needed assists. And look, Jennings came through, man. He gave me 7 assists today.
Yeah, but he just as easily could have not played.
True, But I mean, he's
Like it's just like such a Russian roulette with this lineup. Like I'm not interested in playing anybody, but I think Oladipo, but I'm not even sure about that.
yeah. Oladipo seems to be locked into 40 minutes, and Evan Fournier seems to be the other
For
guy.
right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that which could change. We've seen it change this season.
I hear you, but
I mean, I think you have to play with Oladipo. I'm not playing Fournier, just to give you an insight into how I would handle the Magic situation.
I would still play Fournier and Oladipo, but everyone
Literally,
else.
the only player I would play right now is Oladipo, and I still think it's risky.
All right. So if you own Peyton and Vucevic this week, what are you doing?
Well, I don't see Vucevic coming back anytime soon. Hopefully, I mean, again, if you can put him somewhere on your roster where you can hide him.
What are you doing with Peyton?
I hopefully dropped Peyton last week.
All right. Tyler, do you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I mean, Peyton could get 30 minutes next game and then get no minutes the game after that. Like, you never know what Skiles is thinking.
Here's the craziest thing about Oladipo. 5 games ago, he played 23 minutes.
Do you think Skiles must have some type of psychotic disorder, right?
Do you think he just like? I mean, how does he figure out his minutes? Does he just like write down minute numbers on a sheet that total up to 240 and then pull names out of a hat and like attach them to those minute totals?
I mean, the most disturbing thing though about this is like none of us are surprised, right? He did this before. So if I'm like an Orlando Magic fan, like I would honestly, I would boycott and I'd pick it, and I'd want the entire front office fired. Like, why would you hire that guy?
Explain to me why Andrew Nicholson played more minutes than Aaron Gordon.
Like, I want, as an Orlando Magic fan, I'm not one, but whatever, as an NBA fan, I want an open letter to the fans in Orlando why the hell you hired that guy. Like, what was your reasoning? And I'm, like, serious. Like, what was your thought process? How, like, there was no way this could end well for anyone.
No.
He's a total, piece of crap.
And I think here's the measure of it, right? Like, they didn't make the playoffs, which is fine. They maybe could have under a different coach. But who on that team got better this year? Right? Like, did Oladipo take a step forward? I don't really think so. Did Peyton take a step forward? I would argue maybe half a step backwards. Hazonia take a step forward? I don't think so. I think you could argue that Aaron Gordon took a half a step forward, maybe a full step forward. But now he's playing 18 minutes again. So it's like, what do they have to show for this season? Like, nothing. Vucevic didn't get better. I just don't get it.
And they traded away one of their best players in Tobias Harris for nothing.
For nothing, yeah. And obviously we can't pin that on Skiles, but or maybe you can.
Well, you can, because Skiles basically said, I'm not going to get rid of this guy. He did the same thing when he was coaching the Bucks. He hated Tobias Harris.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Okay. We're only a couple more, Mark. Robert Covington, who's been out for 17 weeks due to a concussion during the playoffs. This is very frustrating. But he's finally...
I sense a little resentment in your voice there.
Yeah. I had to drop him in about 3 leagues. I mean, I think every other player who had a concussion in the NBA, only missed 1 game this year. And he's missed, like, 38 because, of course, Philly... God only knows what the hell Philly's doing. But he's allegedly going to come back on Wednesday against Denver.
I'm not holding my breath on that one. I would not be surprised if he doesn't come back.
Even if he died, I don't know. I guess I want no part of him this week.
And we've seen Brett Brown be pretty slow to bring guys back. I know that a concussion isn't the same as like a leg injury, but I wouldn't be surprised if he played 15 minutes and then rested the next game or something along those lines. Like, I would be very cautious about putting him in your lineup on Wednesday, even if it's announced that he's playing and starting.
Well, and especially because Wednesday, you're probably going to have enough guys to go anyway.
Right. I would go with somebody else.
So, and Willie Cauley-Stein, that bouldering mess of a giant, did not play against the Knicks on Sunday. George Karl basically said he wants to play all the young guys now, so it made it seem like he's going to start and play Cauley-Stein some big minutes. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm reading this, because he's really only going to help you in some defensive stats, and God only knows, if that's even going to be enough to help you. So, whatever.
Even when he starts Cauley-Stein, too, half the time he only plays him like.
Well, that's what's more so frustrating about George Karl, right? I mean, he does the same thing with Ben McLemore, who's been out for a while. He starts him and plays him like 12 minutes, and and like Quincy Acey, still start him and play him 12 minutes. George Karl's he's got to be gone after this year. But
I think he only has a few games left.
What a mess for Sacramento. Finally, Jose Calderon did play, of course, on Sunday against the Kings, and of course he played like 34 minutes and had 3 points and looked horrible. But Rambis,
he still got his 4 assists. He's pretty reliable for those assists. All right, let's kick it over to Tyler. And Tyler, why don't you walk us through what you learned about the schedule and some things that you learned from the rankings this weekend?
All right, so we got a really big week as far as games go this week. There's 12 teams that play 3 games, and 18 teams play 4 games. So,
thank goodness there's no 5-game teams. I want to get Kyle Lowry in a couple places, and that was scary this week.
He played all 5 too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was surprised. They rested DeRozan one game, but Lowry played all 5. I heard Lowry could rest the next game for Toronto.
Oh, that's going to be rough for those Toronto owners who got through the 5-game week because Lowry played so well. They only have 3 games, and if he rests one of those, they're going to be hurting.
Yep.
All right, sorry, Tyler.
So the schedule is pretty packed. On Monday there's 9 games. On Wednesday there's 12 games. On Friday there's 9 games, and on Saturday there's 10 games. But you got 3 days this week that are going to be great for streaming if you're in a daily league. Tuesday there's only 4 games, and then Thursday and Sunday there's only 5 games. So obviously, like if you have limited pickups like you guys were talking about earlier, I would definitely be targeting Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday guys because there's a pretty great chance you have a spot in your lineup to.
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yep.
All right. Good to know.
So you want to give them the pickups now?
Yeah, let's hear who you're suggesting to pick up, and then I'll throw out some pickups for specific categories at the end of the podcast.
All right, so the first my top 5, number 5 in the weekly pickups for this week is Michael Beasley. Now the Bees, I know what you're thinking. He's not been doing, he's not going to do this great, but he's got 4 games this week. He's ranked 96th in our rankings. He's only owned in 31% of leagues. And in the last 6 games, he's been getting 21.7 minutes, 7 rebounds, half an assist, 0.7 steals, half a block, and 17.8 points on 57% from the field and 86% from the line.
If you need points, he's not a bad option. Actually. And rebounds.
And rebounds. That's what I mean. I feel like that's a decent little pickup for you.
Yeah, it's true. And if you're looking to just stream him, he does have a Tuesday and Sunday game. So he has 4 games, and then, like you said, on 2 of the days, you probably are definitely going to be able to use him.
The Bees is primed to either win you your league or lose your league. He's so due to have 8 minutes, 2 points.
2 points, but like 1 of 15 shooting.
Yeah.
Right, and tank your.
Well, the thing about it normally is if he's off, a coach will take him out. So he'll get like 5 shots up in like 2 minutes, and the coach will be like, "Yeah, you don't have it today, Bees, so we're not going to play you anymore." So he's a risky play, but yeah, if you need points, he had 1 game this week. Did he have 30 points? He
had 30 points.
Yeah, so he's in limited minutes. Again, he's not getting a lot of minutes.
Not really. He had 28 minutes.
Yeah.
He got 12 of 18 from the field. You're up 9 rebounds. I don't know.
Yeah. So just be ready for him to. If you pick him up, just have some whiskey on hand and be ready for his 2 points, 0 points because he's due.
All right, number 4 is Michael Beasley's teammate, Patrick Beverley. He obviously plays 4 games this week too. He's ranked 85th in our rankings, owned in 27% of ESPN leagues. His last 10 game stats looking pretty good. He's played 33.3 minutes. He has 1.9 3-pointers, 5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.9 steals, half a block, and 9.5 points. Now the percentages are terrible. So 39.8 from the field, 60% from the line, which isn't great. He's not really helping you that much in points, but steals, rebounds for a guard looking great. Assists are looking pretty decent. 2 3-pointers. I think
totally agree.
He's definitely worth a pickup.
Yep.
All right. Number 3 is one of Mark's favorite players here. Ranked 77th in our weekly rankings, plays 4 games. It's Jan Mahimi. He's only owned in 29% of ESPN leagues. He's basically a points and rebounds guy. He's actually been averaging 0.8 steals this month, which, that could obviously be a
I mean,
pretty
he's
good
not going to
help.
get you many points, but he could help you with. He could definitely help you with blocks as well.
Yeah, block. That's what I meant to say. I said points.
Yeah.
My bad.
No,
He's been averaging 10 points a game, which I mean isn't terrible. Like he's not like a complete zero, but he's definitely not gonna crush that category.
yeah.
The last two guys, teammates for the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, if Powell comes back, this could affect it a little bit, but I really don't think Powell's going to play this week. Number 2 is Nikola Mirotic. Mirotic has been playing pretty well, actually. In only 24 minutes, he's getting 1.6 threes, 4.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, zero point 0.8 steals, 1 block. I mean, he's got a good shot to get the triple one there. He's only owned in 50% of leagues.
Yeah, I think he's become surprisingly a pretty good option at this point.
And is he still your favorite player, Mark? That's all I want to know.
You think everybody's my favorite player?
No, this guy really is your favorite player, though.
That is true, Tyler. Like before you say a guy, you always go, this is Mark's favorite player.
Mark's favorite player is Jan Mahimi and Nikola Mirotic. He loves those two guys. All right, so last guy, Taj Gibson. Yeah. He's been playing really well. He's averaging over a steal and a block this month with 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 10.3 points on almost 60% from the field and 78% from the line.
I'm surprised that Gibson and Mirotic are both owned in less than half of ESPN leagues, huh?
Gibson's only owned in 35%.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm thinking you got to pick him up.
Both have 4 games this week. And I think we all kind of suspect, like we said earlier, if Gasol comes back, that's great. I suspect he probably won't, so they probably will continue to get minutes.
Yeah, you guys both think Gasol's not coming back? See, I think he's coming back Wednesday, but I think that changes.
That you're right.
Like that changes the analysis a lot. So I mean that you got to keep your eyes and ears glued to see what's going to go on with Gasol.
Yeah, agreed. All right, now let me go through the categories. So Tyler looked at the ESPN leagues, who's available there. I went and looked at the Yahoo leagues, who's available in over half of the leagues, and I identified who's going to help you most in each of the 6 positive accounting categories. We did this last week. Hopefully it will help you. This week, I think your best pickup, if you're looking for, let's start with 3-pointers. I think if you're looking for 3-pointers, Mirza Teletovic is still out there in a lot of Yahoo leagues. I think he's good for 10-plus 3-pointers this week with 4 games. Isaiah Cannon has done well this week. We gave him as a recommendation last week. I think he's probably still a good option. I'm a little nervous about him with Covington potentially coming back, but I think he can probably still get you a lot of threes, and Covington may or may not be back. So I would look to those two for 3-point help. In rebounds, I think you hit on a lot of big guys that are available in Yahoo leagues, Tyler, but Gibson, Mahimni are there. Those would be the primary guys I would look for. We talked about Ashik already. I think he's maybe the other guy I would look for. And he's available, I think, in 97% of Yahoo leagues. So, what about you guys? Dan, if you were going for rebounds, would you go with Gibson, Mahimni, or Ashik?
I mean, I might actually go if Powell's not going back, I'd go Gibson. But if Powell's going to be back, I'd go Ian.
Nice. And I guess the advantage that Gibson and Mahimni have, they both have 4 games where Ashik only has 3. So if Gibson gets 8 rebounds a game or Mahimni gets 8 rebounds a game, that's going to trump Ashik getting 11 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Or 10 rebounds a game, I guess. All right, let's move on to assists. Dan, even though he only has 3 games this week, Shelvin Mack, who's still available in a lot of leagues, is probably your best pickup. Continues to play great. I think he had 10 assists on Sunday night. Is that right?
Dude, Mac Daddy has been killing it for me, man. So he had 12 assists today.
You don't even deserve to have him on your team, I don't
13
think.
points, 12 assists, and he did have 6 turnovers, which hurt.
After all the slander that you've given that poor guy.
That's your least favorite player. You hate him. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Be careful picking him up too. He does have the game on Thursday, but Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday, I mean, that's the huge night. So you
I'm
might
all
not be able to
aboard.
get
I'm
him in.
all aboard Mac Daddy right
No,
now.
you got to get Mac in your lineup.
He's dominant. He's a must own in my opinion right now.
I agree. I think it's silly every time I see him on these lists of available players. Dennis Schroeder has 4 games. He probably also get you between 15 and 20 assists this week. So if you're looking somewhere outside of Sheldon Mack, I think that's probably a good place to look. And then if both of those guys are gone, I still think DJ Augustine is a reasonable candidate to fill in for assists. He has 4 games. I think he could get you 15 assists in those 4 games and help you in that category. In steals category, it's kind of the same guys we've been talking about. Gary Harris still is not owned in half of Yahoo leagues, which is surprising to me. He's an obvious pickup. My guess is he's not available in your competitive leagues, so Tony Allen is probably your best option if you're looking specifically for steals. And if he's unavailable, PJ Tucker is probably the next best option. Moving on to blocks.
I would just say, Mark, a couple guys for steals that I have is
Yeah.
I don't know if what his ownership is, but Josh Richardson from Miami. Like I don't know if you guys have been watching this guy.
He's had a great couple of weeks, and I know that Josh has been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I'm trying to see where his stats are. I mean, he's averaging.
The last 2 weeks, he's averaged in 29 minutes. He's averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 3 3-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's already owned in too many leagues, but he's been a godsend for Miami. Like it just came out of nowhere. Tyler Johnson went down. Their backup point. You know, they traded Mario Chalmers. Then Tyler
25% of ESPN leagues.
Okay, so I mean, like, but he was in the D League. He wasn't supposed to play. Wasn't going to play at all this year. Then they got rid of Mario Chalmers, partly because of Josh Richardson, and then Tyler Johnson went down, and then that's how Josh Richardson started to play some minutes, and he's been phenomenal. Like a lot of some games, like 2 of the last 3 games, he's played down the stretch instead of Dragic.
And I like that recommendation, and here's why: because I really like Miami's schedule this week. So they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So I know that you could maybe make the case that you're not going to be able to get Richardson in all of those days. But if you're working with a limited number of streams, if you can get a guy who's going to play 3 games in 4 days, that's pretty valuable.
Yep.
As long as you can get him in your lineup every one of those days.
Yeah, no, agree. And the other guy who's a sneaky play for steals is, our boy Ken Bazemore is kind of fallen out of the rotation a little bit in the doghouse.
He's been dropped in a ton of leagues.
Yeah, and Thabo Sefolosha, in his last 5 games, Mark, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1.5 3-pointers. So he's probably available. He's a safe play right now. He can help you out in a couple categories. So he's if you need steals, threes, I like Sefolosha.
Yeah. Now moving over to blocks category, my top pickup in this one, and it's not really that close, is John Henson. He's played. He's returned finally from his injury. He missed 20 games. What was he with a back injury? On Sunday night, he played 26 minutes. He had 3 blocks. The previous game against Memphis, he only played 15 minutes but had 4 blocks. I think if you're looking for strictly blocks, I'd go John Henson in Milwaukee. He doesn't need a lot of minutes to get you a lot of blocks there. Jeremy Grant in Philadelphia is another interesting option. I think as long as Covington is limited, I think Grant probably still continues to get minutes, and we know that he's been pretty consistent blocking shots. From there, Mahinmi and Gibson are, other good options, but I think Henson is the clear and obvious pickup. Do you guys have anybody else you're thinking of that you would recommend over him?
No, I still I do like Henson. I'm still not completely off of Bismack either this week.
Really? I mean, he had a great game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Almost cost me a playoff matchup, actually.
Yeah, so I'm, he's still on my radar, and if I need blocks, even if Valanciunas comes back, I wouldn't be afraid to pull the trigger on Bismack for blocks. He had 6 blocks, for God's sakes, today.
Yeah, but played a lot of minutes.
True, but 6 blocks. I mean, like, that's,
Played 36 minutes, yeah. Even if you could get 12 minutes to get 2 blocks, I don't think that's how it works. But
well, yeah, I mean, but so maybe if Valanciunas comes back, I'm telling you, Valanciunas never plays 30, more than 30 minutes a game. That's a ceiling. Let's say
Bismack had an unbelievable week.
yeah, so let's say Valanciunas comes back. They split. They each play 24 minutes. Bismack could still give you 2 blocks.
Yeah.
So
This past week, Bismack Biyombo had 50 points, 66 rebounds, and 18 blocks. Shot 69% from the field.
yeah, he said he was quoted. Said it was the greatest week of his life.
Yeah.
I totally made that up, but I think he would say that.
I think if anybody actually went to try to interview him, I think they would probably say that. I don't think he gets a lot of reporters at his locker. All right.
Wait, I got one for you. I will mention the Pelicans. They play Tuesday and Thursday, which are the 2 lightest games. So all those guys that we mentioned earlier, I mean, they're a great pickup. Definitely going to get them
3 games. Those are 2 quality games.
Right.
Agreed. And lastly, if you're looking for points, I think Tyler, your suggestion of Beasley is great. Obviously, if Gary Harris is out there, pick him up. Mirza Teletovic, I think, is your best option, who may still be on the waiver wire. He's available in over 65% of Yahoo leagues. So I'd hope that one of those guys is out there. But if you need a risky option, I think you can't do much better than Michael Beasley, as Tyler recommended. So. All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up for this week's show. Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I mean, I guess I would like to say 2 things that were intriguing me this week is that, one, Bill Murray's son is the assistant coach for Xavier, which I find fascinating. Wisconsin beat Xavier, so too bad for you, Bill Murray. And also, Mark, I watched the entire series of Breaking Bad. It took me about 8 days to watch 5 full seasons.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I made it through.
And it was as good as advertised.
It was.
Right?
I mean, it's hard because my expectations were so high for that show, but it absolutely met my expectations. Fantastic show. So I can chalk that one, or I can finally mark that off the list and move on to another series.
All right, Tyler. Any last words from you this week?
Top that, Tyler. Top that.
Okay, I'll mention 2 things. The first of which is you can check out those weekly rankings I mentioned in the pickups at dailyfantasybasketballpodcast.com. I just think they're a great tool to help you win your weekly matchups. And the second thing I'll mention is in this midseason crisis league Dan brought up earlier, I want to know you guys' excuses for getting smoked in this league.
I think we're both in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, you're both in the playoffs, but you're not even close to the top seed. What's up with this?
First of all, I am very close to the top seed.
And
yes,
no, not even close.
I was until this week. Anthony Davis went down. So
all I care about is getting in the playoffs.
And I'm in second place still, even though Anthony Davis went down, and I'm still ahead of Mark's father, the grass farmer, who beat me in a tough matchup this week, 4-3.
You ought to give him a pat on his back.
No, I'm saying shout out to the grass farmer, to Mark's pops for taking me down, but there's a caveat because Anthony Davis went down for me, so otherwise I would have toasted him. But me, Tyler, how many teams made the playoffs?
I don't think we're in the playoffs yet.
Oh, yeah,
no, this is the first week. That's why there's no matchup. 6 teams made it.
Oh wait, the playoffs are.
Wait, 6 out of we only have 10 teams in the league.
Mark set this up, not me, man.
We'll figure this out off air. I don't think anybody else cares out there.
I think we have a lot of people who care. It's very intriguing.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Best of luck to you. If it's your championship week, we're crossing our fingers and sending good vibes your way that you'll be able to pull out the championship victory. If you have questions, let Dan or Tyler and I know. We'll be happy to help you out. You can reach out to us on Twitter. If it's not quite your championship week, we're also rooting for you. Hopefully you can get in.
Yeah, even if you're playing for third, man, dominate. Take that third place. Don't throw in the towel.
I'd say throw in the towel for third place.
Don't throw in the towel.
If you're still in the winner's bracket, keep going. We're rooting for you. Enjoy some basketball, and we will be back on next Monday to help you set your lineups one final time. Until then, hopefully everything goes your way. We will see you then.
Later, guys.